right, let's go. New England Patriots 15, New York Jets 10. Patriots get their first win. Both teams 1-2 now. I think the game kind of went as expected. A defensive battle, little rain, slippery ball. And so other than a 58-yarder from New England, busted coverage, 58-yard busted coverage to Pharaoh Brown, neither team really did much offensively. There's drops. New England's offense looks better than the Jets, but the results were pretty close because, every time Zach Wilson was under center, did you ever feel threatened? Did you ever feel like he was going to, be a threat to score? Not really. So,
and yet the Hail Mary almost
and the Hail Mary almost won it.
It had a shot
for the Jets.
I mean, it wasn't going to be on the clean catch, but it was deflected, and was it Randall Cobb?
It almost landed in Randall Cobb's hands.
Had a chance of bringing in the Hail Mary off the deflection. It has now been more than 2,800 days since the New York Jets beat the New England Patriots.
Wow.
That's quite a long time.
It's many years.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it just felt like, remember last year they were in a 3-3 game. I think it was in New York, right? 3-3 game, and the Patriots won with walk-off punt return.
Yeah.
To win 10-3. This game was, you take out the 158-yarder, and it's very similar game. Patriots also, one key play, Matthew Judon with the sack in the end zone for, they call that a safety.
They do.
To go up 5. So when the Jets were driving, every time the Jets were driving at the end, it was, needing a touchdown, not just a field goal because of the Judon play there. Yeah,
the Jets had negative yardage in the second quarter. I mean, this was going as you would expect from the New York Jets. They get on the board with a field goal from, the moon. That's how they got the first 3. And then, the Matthew Judon spins inside Mekhi Becton for the safety. Remember, the Jets' offensive line was bad to begin with and then banged up as well. Zach Wilson's pressure rate in this game, it was only 50%-ish, which for him is massively improved. It was sky high, off the charts.
That's not even the offensive line, though. It's
it's both. It's
not
collective.
The offensive line.
It's everything.
He is sitting there waiting. Fields was doing the same thing. Sometimes you got to see bad quarterback play to appreciate good quarterback play. It's almost like when Fields, in particular, drops back. He's catching strays during the Jets breakdown. When Fields drops back, it's like, let me wait as long as I can until someone's in my face. That's Zach Wilson. It's a little different. It's not waiting. It's like, I'm going to move into the pressure. I'm going to retreat so my linemen don't have proper blocking angles. I'm going to roll out because I don't know. I'm just not going to throw the ball on time. That's the biggest issue with Zach Wilson here in year 3. It's not even the throwing of the ball. It's just seeing it and throwing it on time. Because there's a few, it's not like there was never an open receiver in there either,
No. But heading into this game, at least, I think it's been a collective of everything. The offensive line is bad, and Zach Wilson is bad, and the two of those things together make each other worse, and everything is awful. Then you add in the fact that they're banged up on the offensive line as well, and down players. Doesn't add up to an awful lot of success.
If you're going to be taking victory laps 3 weeks in here, are you willing to concede a miss on, say, Christian Gonzalez,
not a
Patriots'
chance.
First-round corner?
No. They're early in the game.
Another nice game, gives up only one first down, has a pass breakup.
To Zach Wilson.
Last week he did it against the team that just scored 70 points. He had an interception.
Yeah, and the interception was nice. It was also a wildly underthrown pass where he just beat Tyreek Hill to the ball. Anyway, this week it's I knew this was coming. I literally wrote it down in the notes. Christian Gonzalez is potentially shadowing Garrett Wilson in the game. Holy crap, if he does a good job today, wow. It's but against Zach Wilson, I could cover Garrett Wilson all day shadowing him. The ball's still not going his way because Zach Wilson's back there.
Look away from the ball.
Doesn't matter.
Look at the plays. Look at the non-targets. See him moving.
Moving has never been his problem. That's literally
now he's making plays on the ball.
Right, when it's wildly underthrown, it's just hanging up there for somebody to go catch. Number one note in every single person's evaluation of Christian Gonzalez is the man moves better than any corner to come along in years. The problem has always been the last step, which we don't get to evaluate in this game because Zach Wilson is throwing the ball.
As much as Zach Wilson's the problem, the Jets' rushing attack. Now, look, it all coincides, right? You're going to stack the box and make Zach Wilson beat you. I get that. But Breece Hall, Dalvin Cook combined for 36 yards on 20 carries, long of 7. They're they're contacted behind the line of scrimmage on average. New England did a great job up front. But again, it's in part because you're not afraid of the pass game whatsoever. So Breece Hall bottled up. Dalvin Cook has been bottled up all season. Even if you draw up the game plan, as you know, every talking head on TV is like, oh, this has got to be all run game. It's got to be Breece Hall. Even I'm saying, man, I would just maybe keep feeding Breece Hall and hope that he breaks one. It doesn't work. It just doesn't. It can't work if you don't have room to run. And so the Jets don't have room to run, and defenses don't respect it. So I think this might be the week where they look elsewhere at quarterback. It has to be frustrating that they can't even run an offense, and that the Jets' defense gave them opportunities to win. Gave them opportunities. Take out one busted coverage, man, and this is just as bad on the other side for the New England Patriots. And the Jets' defense is giving the offense multiple opportunities to make a comeback, and they just couldn't do it.
It's like last year. Like, that defense is good enough that if anything viable happens on offense, they've got a chance to win pretty much any game there. And they're still somehow falling short of that benchmark because Zach Wilson is awful. The problem is we've had this conversation over and over. Like, there's only that many. Like, the real issue is that offensive line is bad anyway, right? We saw last year an offensive line that's significantly better than the Jets make Matt Ryan collapse late in his career, right? Matt Ryan apparently is one of 2 veteran quarterbacks that's picked up the phone and been like, hey, would you be interested in bringing me out of this booth back onto the field?
His agent called.
Whatever. The point is the Jets didn't return the call, and honestly, I think that's the right decision. Matt Ryan behind this offensive line gets murdered. Who was the other old ass?
Chad Henne?
No. Chad Henne.
Carson Wentz reached out.
Carson Wentz was the other quarterback that reached out. Now, that one maybe. But Matt Ryan behind that offensive line is a bad idea. Chad Henne was more, he turned them down because, frankly, the dude's having a better time than he would behind that offensive line from his retirement, so fair enough. Dalvin Cook, I remember when James Cook was coming out. I'm like, relations scouting is a little weird, but those two are like clones of each other. Only James Cook was like 80% of Dalvin in every aspect, right? Just 80% is good, 80% is big, 80% is fast, 80% of Dalvin. Current Dalvin actually looks like 80% of James Cook now. He's just not the same guy. He's done.
It's flipped pretty quickly.
He's old and busted now. It's not Dalvin Cook anymore.
Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for the Jets offensively. Credit New England. They, to me, this was a take care of business game for New England because Zach Wilson, as someone in the chat says, Zach Wilson is like a rain game, but there was also rain too. So New England's got Dallas next week. That'll be a little more interesting now after what we saw from the Cowboys last week. Patriots get on the board with their first win. Efficient running game for the first time in a while. Zeke averaging 5 yards a pop. Looking a little bit better. Ramondre Stevenson, a little rough start this year at running back, not creating after contact. Had at least one drop in there. So just
one drop, one play where he was late looking for the ball and it just pinged off his head or something.
Yeah, some ugly ones in there for Ramondre Stevenson.